the fallen, leave me to be with the broken one last time before I go. Hold the last burning ember, let us never surrender. May we rise up to the call for the glory and the fall. For the weak and the broken, for the lost and the
Yo, what's up, everybody out there in Twitchland? Welcome, everybody. It's me, Drewbert. You can't see me, so you're gonna have to take my word for it, or maybe you just know my voice. But we got some League of Legends off-season, Voyager Royale, Odyssey tournament action here. That was a mouthful, but that's what we got. And we had to keep it hype for our first match of this off-season tournament. So we're going big with the TriCast here. I'm joined by the one, the only. He goes by Ball of Fury these days, but it's Mango. How you doing, Mango?
I'm here. I'm ready for some action.
Like it. And then, like I said, it's a TriCast. So free agent extraordinaire, the one, the only CO. How are you doing, CO?
I'm doing very well, Drew. Thank you so much. And excited to be here and see these games.
Yo, these mascots on the screen, by the way, that monkey looks very friendly. He's enjoying a banana, and that duck looks like he is ready for war. Look at that guy. He is.
I had to
He's
collect my composure after seeing that monkey. I'm just saying.
yeah. We've got our opening game here. So you got the abbreviations, but it's Me's Mighty Mallards versus Trolls Chimp Crusade. And as a little refresher, maybe you don't know the rules of this all-season tournament. You have to play a specific region from Runeterra, so all your champions have to be from that region. There are no bans that you can levy as far as champions go, but you can ban one region away from your opponent. So if they have a region that you're afraid of, you can ban it away. And last but not least, over the course of the regular season, you can only play each region one time. So when you use it, whether you win or lose, it is then off the table the rest of the season. So for this first match, Me's Mighty Mallards are going to be repping the region of Zaun, and Trolls Chimp Crusade, they're going to be repping the region of Demacia. So we got a little Zaun versus Demacia matchup. Any initial thoughts, Mango or CO, as we get in the draft here? Like I said, there won't be bans, but Demacia, Zaun, do you favor one over the other?
I personally love the Zon. I used to
Zaun,
dabble in Zon a lot between Warwick and Urgot.
fair, fair.
Uh,
My guys.
my opinion also stands very close to Zon because it is a very powerhouse region, that is for sure.
Zaun is Zaun is scary, both lore wise and just power of the champions wise. We've got a Jinx coming through first pick here into a Vayne Galio. Vayne pretty much, well, it could flex top. You never know. But probably Vayne ADC and Galio, probably a mid lane, but could also be a flex, I suppose. You're going to see some interesting flexes potentially because, again, you're stuck to one region. So you may have to play champions in kind of odd positions here.
This is true. I do think that Cop 34 for the side of Trolls Chimp Crusade could pilot that vein, but I wonder if Killshot has the Vayne QQQ mechanics to flex it into the top lane. That will be exciting to see for sure.
There's the Warwick, a favorite of Mango, getting
I
locked
love
in
them.
there. It's a scary guy. And like I said, we roll right in through that. No ban phase there. So a Silas, a Garen coming through. So we got some beefy front line from Trolls Chimp Crusade. Some good damage coming out. AP and AD split there. What will the Mallards round out their comp with? It's a pretty standard comp. I think like Jinx, Renata, bot, Warwick jungle. It seems pretty above board right now.
Boom.
I think the Renata pick is really good here, actually. It's a really good pick into the Galio if he does flex support. Very good into the Silas Garen if Trolls Crusade decides to just run forward. Renata ulti is a really good disengage. Unfortunately, though, they do have a Silas, so that Renata ulti, the Echo ulti now, the Urgot ulti, ooh, it's gonna be a test to see which ultimate can come in clutch.
Ooh, a Lux hover here. It's gonna be a Kale. Interesting. Seen
They
some
picked the ultimate Demacian.
Yeah, I feel
Garen.
like the Garen. How do you play Demacia without Garen? That's a fair question. So Garen comes through, Kale as well. Um, that's gonna be our teams: Jinx, Renata, Warwick, Echo, and Urgot versus Vayne, Galio, Silas, Garen, and Kale. Anything stand out as we wait for the game to load in? Anything interesting?
I'm curious to see where the Kale and the Garen are going.
Fair
Just
question.
I assume maybe Silas jungle, Garen mid with the Kale top, possibly. But that's actually a very interesting team comp. Me's Mighty Mallard seems very linear with their placements here on where they're going. So I could see the Kale ulti doing well into maybe the Echo, but the Garen silence negating Echo from ulting if he does decide to engage. So both seem pretty valid for that mid lane.
Yeah, no, that's a fair call out. Mango, if you had to bet one side over the other, who has your money right now?
I would go with Vaughn with the Mighty Mallards.
Yeah, that duck is scary. I agree. I agree with you. I do think there's some scary scaling on the side of the Chimp Crusade. Kale and Vayne can be pretty scary. They get items, time, levels under their belt. But we're onto the Rift. Here we go. Teams are fanning out. We'll have to see if we get early action.
Time and levels mean nothing to her, not alt.
Very true. Looks like both teams are opting to 5-point here rather than invade, although both teams don't have a very strong invade level 1, so seems like just scoping it out, feeling it out. No one opting to get any vision down yet, but we might see a couple late wards just to keep the ward timers alive.
This is the most solid of 5-point defenses on either side.
Most exciting beginning.
No one wants to step out of line here. I will point out, so when you look at what characters are on, or what players on what champions, the Urgot in particular kind of scares me, because that is a very good pick for Exodus, definitely. So he's on comfort this match.
Oh, could agree there. Exodus on the Urgot pilots the champion very well. I'm not entirely certain about the top lane matchup into the Garen and how that's going to go, but I guess we will find out. Looks like both junglers are opting to start their bot side buffs, getting a leash from bot lane, and pathing top. So I guess we will see some top lane action, hopefully, in the early, and we'll get to see that Urgot in play.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Mango, have you jungled last season? What's your take on the little jungle Pokemon, little jungle pets? Like them, love them, neutral.
I'm pretty just set on the blue one because I go fast.
That's fair.
I go speedy. Everybody's like, "Oh, the green one, you get a shield." No, I go as fast as I can.
Ooh, good
It does apply
damage.
speed. I did think I noticed that it applied a slow to enemies if I remember correctly. Oh my
Me
goodness.
flashes forward. That's a good double stun by knocking them into each other. Cop needs to be careful. Super low. The ignite is ticking. He goes down. Me, the mascot for Me's Mighty Mallards, the namesake, gets first blood here.
Well, that was a great engage by me Patel on the Renata there. The flash into the handshake, immediate ignite. Unfortunately for them, Vayne didn't blow any summoners, so she still has the cleanse and the flash available. But Jinx is going to get such a lead here with the wave management, pushing in, getting a reset, back on the Rift with, let's see what she buys. Maybe... Oh, the Renata got the first blood. Oh,
yeah.
My mistake. Pardon me.
Yeah, me said I flash for that, so therefore the money shall also be mine.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Me
Well, Jinx
spin
opted
flash,
to buy
me
a
get gold.
Cull.
Yeah, Cole is it says they want to scale, so don't hate it. Taking advantage.
Is Cull an item used? Oh wait, maybe we're holding that.
We might get some action here. Troll would have to maybe. He actually is not going to get a chance to get himself out of danger. He did have flash up, but he just stuck between a rock and a hard place. Will go down, and that is second blood going over to Me's Mallards.
is a scary top laner to have.
Condemn into the wall. Good Galio taunt. High noon support with the CC chain. Condemn into that taunt. That is a dead me on the Renata.
Oh, that is unlucky. The High Noon support took high advantage of me Patel not having Flash or Ignite there to retaliate, and only being, I believe, level 2 doesn't have the W available at the time, so there is no saving that Renata.
Yeah, no, he was stuck as it is, as it was. Cop and High Noon doing a good job after giving up first blood, kind of getting their footing back in this bot lane.
Let's see here. Starting Cole on ADC. Okay. Cole first recall, you can complete it quickly. So I guess the Cole on the Jinx is for an earlier item completion. So trying to get that power spike a little bit sooner. Try to match the scaling, I'm assuming, with the Vayne.
Yeah, on Solar Bear. Worth noting that Solar Bear was a support player in the regular season that we just wrapped up. One of the better support players, if I dare to say. So interesting to see him flip over to ADC. But yeah, excited to see what he brings. Same lane, just different role.
And when you have a support player like me Patel, I would definitely vacate the support role for him. He's very aggressive support. Oh my goodness! Oh,
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to
Killshot
see.
totally
Nothing to
fine.
see.
Totally
Oh
fine.
my goodness! I got a little clench on that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, thought process. Me Patel, very aggressive support, very high skill playmaker. So we're excited to see. I'm excited to see him in this tournament playing support. And Solar Bear is such a good ADC player that I'm just so excited. This is such a good bot lane. I think all the bot lanes in the tournament are very evenly matched. So it's excited to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. Bot lane spicy this go around. It is definitely spicy, and people are getting forced off their comfort picks because of the region stipulations. So it's gonna make for a fun time here. We'll have to see. Still relatively slower pace. We did get some kills. Where do you think the first like big, like, do either of these teams want to like really all in on the Drakes? Like, do you expect to see prio from both these teams there, or are they just going to ignore it? It's up at the moment.
I think with priority, unfortunately, well, Kale is 6. Kale being a historical scaling champion in the top lane, I'm not sure how she influences objective priority from mid lane. But when it comes down to maybe item advantages, the Vayne does have tier 2 boots. And she's going to use her passive, can really proc it on the Echo and the Warwick around the objective. So I wonder if Red Side is a little bit stronger here, but it looks like Dragon Lizard is aiming to set up a play to give them number advantage in the bot lane for this dragon. So we'll see how this
Dragon
plays
Lizard
out.
pops Blood Scent. He's coming around for the gank. Cop able to burn that cleanse, get himself the safety. Flash coming out of High Noon support, but the rocket, the Super Mega Death rocket, will fly true. Galio is in the grave, and the Mighty Mallards may be looking towards Dragon. Yeah, chat. The directed cam, they didn't want us to see the it was a brutal death. It was not safe for viewers at home.
Yo, directed cam's been paid off. All right, who did it?
Guilty.
Well,
I'm guilty.
It's you, it's Mango.
Oh no, that looks like a juicy ADC, and Troll is looking.
Yeah,
Blue
I have
side does have number advantage at this dragon, but the Renata ulti's been stolen.
Here it comes, the Renata hostile takeover from Silas. Will fly true, but doesn't wreak the kind of havoc that I think Chimp Crusade needs to really all-in commit to this. So Dragon will go the wayside over to the Mallards.
I think just for a moment he needed to
Oh,
just
kill shot.
hold off on it and not just use it so fast.
Yeah.
Going in and just letting it rip.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. You almost get so excited that you have it. You're like, oh, this is the big one. This is the one I want. Yeah, I agree. You really want to throw it. Ooh, Exodus wants this kill on kill shot, but is not going to find the flip. Kill shot playing with fire, though. Exodus has almost got his ult, so we'll have to watch that.
Does he have enough mana for his ulti? I don't think he needs it.
The dive, I guess he won't if you just dive him. Successful gank, tower dive complete from Dragon Lizard.
Oh my gosh, this Urgot is getting big. He's getting such a lead in this lane. He's going to be a powerhouse to deal with later on.
Yeah, that can be Urgot's scary enough on his own. Exodus Urgot it's a whole different animal at that point. So that could be very, very difficult to deal with as we get later here.
And it looks like Me's Mighty Mallards are opting to use that advantage instead of getting tower plates further on Exodus, opting for the Rift. It's going to go over to Exodus, so I guess he'll be able to use that to apply even more pressure in the top lane. It's going to be a... oh my gosh.
A lot of damage coming out of Basil there, but Lumi does have the kill ult. Isn't completely scared yet. We'll have to see. I feel Dragon's been really active in this mid game. Like he's been making stuff happen all over the map.
Yes, Dragon Lizard is definitely known for his early game presence as a jungler. Has very balanced objective control as
Roll
well.
comes in, does find the chains. I don't know if he has kill pressure. Basil ults back as the Echo. That was good to keep him alive for now. With the flash, he's going to get out of there. That's a razzle Basil. He did not pay me to say that. And kill shot is going to find the Urgot ultimate. And he finds his way. Yeah, that's fear beyond death, and he finds his way into the meat grinder. That is another kill. It is now 5-1 in favor of the Mallards. Can I pay you not to say it? Maybe, yeah. Maybe you can, Basil. Stop making good plays. I'll stop saying it.
Oh,
that is a Kale ult burned as Lumi's trying to get out. The slow connects. The ultimate connects. Super Mega Death Rocket has claimed its second victim of the game. And this time direct to cam. Did not look away.
learned its lesson. Learned its lesson for the first time. This time it's like, all right. I'm a direct-to-cam for the people. We will give them what they want. And we appreciate it.
Oh, it is one troll versus many Mallards here as he tries to hold this tower. I guess he's got his little buddy, his little frog buddy, but TP coming in. We'll have to see if Lumi and Troll can push off this aggression. Good grab there from me. The hostile takeover not even needed as Troll goes down before it can really cause any more havoc. Lumi does wave clear, but that is another kill over to the Mallards.
And despite this early game lead from blue side, there is still scaling on the side of Troll's Chimp Crusades, so I think if they can hold out a little bit, the Kale is farming very well, keeping up with the Echo. There may be some late game insurance here through the Vayne.
Ooh.
And the Kale. Oh my goodness.
Here comes High Noon. Not gonna get any more action. I agree with you. I think especially when you have a Kale, it is always a matter of time, but hold that thought because that Kale is going to fall. Basil picks up a kill. Havoc is being wreaked in the bot lane. Bot lane Vayne is going to go down. Warwick does lunge forward, locks up High Noon support. The Super Mega Death Rocket not needed because that's a dead Galio before it even finds its mark. Another really good gank from Dragon Lizard there to pick up 2 kills for his team in the bot lane. Yeah, it is. It is a low CC. I will say that. Yeah, that rocket feels like it's up every single fight. Totally agree. already a quarterback.
It's interesting here that with that play bot lane, they didn't transition into the dragon. I'm wondering if perhaps Dragon, who opted to reset here along with Jinx, Solar Bear, maybe they had a lot of gold they were sitting on that they wanted to use to try to make it a little easier of a dragon for them to obtain. But it looks like Red Side's able to get some priority on vision. They have priority in the mid lane. Yeah, it looks like both teams are motioning in to try to get control of this. Which dragon? This ocean dragon.
The Ocean Drake. Yeah, I think you might be on to something there. Dragon did complete Bork when he went back, so maybe he wanted to get that. Or we're gonna get a throwdown here. Troll will steal the ultimate, but he might have bit off more than he could chew. With the jungler down for the Chimp Crusade, the Mighty Mallards have their pick of what they want to do, and it looks like Dragon Lizard says he wants the second Drake of the game.
He's able to solo it, but it looks like Top and High Noon have the read on that, and they're gonna go contest it themselves, jungler or not.
This is just pandemonium up here as they just take the dragon. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a fight down there too. Exodus finds Fear Beyond Death on Lumi, able to kill him. Kill shot goes down as well. Troll's Chimp Crusade has to run from this dragon fight. Dragon secures it. That was skirmishes all over the map, but I think on the whole, the Mallards get pretty much everything they could have wanted from that.
Exodus with that ult.
Yeah.
Timing that perfect to pull him in at the end of the kill ult. Right as it ended. Oh man.
Yeah, no, that was pretty much frame perfect because that kill ult is still on. When he reaches the meat grinder, he will not get executed. So that was pretty good.
I had to contain my excitement.
So I have not played Urgot, but I have played against Urgot twice now. Oh, I know, I'm very, very experienced. I noticed when being ulted, technically considered untargetable, I'm not sure if abilities can be used when being Urgot ulted. Is Kale able to use ulti after the connection?
No. The once you're chained and pulled in, you can't really do much else. Now if your friends can kill the Urgot first, then you're okay. But no, he had to pop that off before he got chained.
Okay. Maybe I'll be picking Kale into the Urgot, but the Mordekaiser seems to be working. Oh, Basil.
Big skirmish here. Basil taking a lot of damage, is prolonging this fight. The Echo alt rewinds time, gets the damage, and that is another. Yeah, you can say it, man. Go say it loud and proud. That's another Razzle Basil on the rift there.
You never count the razzle bazzle out of it.
Never.
That was actually a very well-timed Echo ulti from Troll to dodge out the Warwick ult. That was very well played by him. Unfortunately, he still fell, victim to the the Echo Warwick combo, but that was very well played.
Yeah, we'll have to see. They've got a healthy 10K lead right now. So what's the put your thinking hats on. If you're on the Chimp Crusade side of the equation here, what do you do to get yourself back in? You're 10K down, 2 dragons down, bounties are up. What's the call? What's the move?
I think you just got to play the skilling game and try not to keep dying. You got to just get your farm up and get as much as you can. Take the objectives that you can get when you can, and hope for the best. And catch people out if you can.
Very wise words. Because I do believe that they win the scaling game. As long as they can create space for the Vayne, not run face first into a very clutch Renata ulti. They do have the scaling game down.
They can somehow kill Exodus. That's a fat 600 gold bounty just sitting there waiting for the taking. But that's he's got Jack Show online now, so that's a tall order in and of itself.
was the tall order before
Yeah.
Jack Show.
It's interesting to see the top lane meta that I've noticed not rushing Mythic, but rushing. Oh, it's okay.
We're back.
Director
We're back.
Cam just had a moment. It is a little hiccup. That the top lane meta for most bruisers and fighters that I've seen is Mythic secondary. They opt to run like a legendary item primarily, and then get their Mythic second.
Oh, Lumi's
Oh,
in a
Lumi.
tough spot here. That was a really well executed pickoff by the Mallards. They just let Lumi walk up to try and defend that tower, and that was all she wrote.
My goodness. Blue side just controls so much of the map right now. They're able to just walk in and, oh my gosh, kind of just do whatever they please at this point. But we believe in Trolls Chimp Crusade. They got a lot of good farm on the Vayne. Not as much tempo as these Mighty Mallards, but we believe.
Heinian just doing his best to try and get vision back for his team, and while he does clear some wards, going to pay for it with his life. That's a man advantage for the Mallards. They have their eyes set on the Baron Nashor. They're going to start it up here.
Mighty Mallards looked at TCC and said, "This is my jungle now."
Yeah. Enter if you dare. Trolls Chimp Crusade could opt to try to get the dragon here. I don't know if they are aware that the Mallards are on Baron, but it does look like Troll has a good read here, looking to get a dragon to contest Soul Point.
Yeah, we're going to get a fight for sure. Exodus teleports in. That's going to send the Chimp Crusade running for the hills. Troll gets out with the Blast Cone, temporarily getting himself to safety. They do not want to give up this dragon, but they might have a choice. Me flashes forward. The handshake will lock up the Sylas. Here comes the hostile takeover. Will not really create any kind of havoc this time, but it does buy space and time enough for the Mallards to collect their third dragon of the game. They also picked up the Baron, and they are looking quite ferocious at this point.
As the Mighty Mallards at this point in time, you're so far ahead in this early game that this is what you want against a team that has such scaling to it. You want to end it as quick as possible and not let it drag out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you're right. Kale's at level 12. Once she gets to 16, you start to maybe get a little nervous about things turning. So I think the Mallards have some time to close this out. They certainly have the gold and the items, so we'll have to see how this next maybe 5-6 minutes goes.
And the unfortunate thing for the side of Trolls Chimp Crusade, they don't have a lot of anti-siege. I know that Kale has, I think it may be level 11 that she gets that AoE on her auto attack. I'm not sure if that's at level 16. Oh my gosh, Cop, that flash was beautiful.
Is able to dodge out on so much here. He's still alive. Damage is being returned back. Exodus goes forward. He is in the middle of everyone here, and he just does not care. Fear Beyond Death will pick up the double kill for him. Killshot is next on his radar. He picks up the triple. Troll has to retreat back into his base. Exodus picking up the triple. 7-0-4, 200 farm on the Urgot. That is the very definition of a raid boss here, and they have their eyes set on this central tower, trying to crack open the base here of the Chimp Crusade.
Oh, that boy be chunky.
Yeah, and that's a testament to the point of not having a lot of anti-siege. The side of red does not have enough wave clear. Between Galio and the Vayne, they were up there so long just trying to push out a wave past neutral zone. They just don't have the wave clear that they need. They have the scaling, but they don't have a means to clear waves to try to keep the Mighty Mallards pushed out of their base, not let them continue to force their tempo to crack the base there, and they end up getting top inhib and looking for a reset here.
Yeah, they'll have a lot. I'm interested to see what Exodus backs and buys, because he certainly got some gold to spend.
Is that Black Cleaver? Looks
He
like.
had Black Clee. He just picked up a
Okay.
pickaxe. So,
Not quite enough to make a full item yet, I guess.
No, he's getting probably pretty close. Is Basil the best Echo in the server now? Good question. Good question. People want to know.
I've played against Eli's Echo, and that was a little terrifying at one point.
Here
So
comes
I think-
another just suppression CC chain onto the Silas Troll. Can do nothing but pick up his 5th death here. And the Mallards are looking to crack this tower and maybe the game here, unless the Chimp Crusade can mount a heroic defense.
Oh, I love Meat Patel's positioning here. He is creating so much space for his team to take a tower for free. There's really not much that they can do to contest. He is ready with his ultimate. If there's any retaliation from from Troll's Chimp Crusade, then he is at the ready with his positioning to make sure that nothing happens.
We could get a 5v5 here. Troll is back up. You have to figure this could be the final fight. Basil is in. Alt's back up. Troll is down. The fight hostile takeover goes. It's a 5-man hostile takeover. That certainly is going to spell the end for Chimp Crusade here. Double kill going over to the Warwick. Lumi able to just dodge that Mega Death Rocket. Will heal up in the fountain, but it's him versus the entire world, and the entire world are ducks. And the Nexus will fall here. Game 1 of the Voyager Royale tournament, and it goes over to the Mighty Mallards.
Holy cow.
That was I told you those ducks were looking aggressive. I knew from like the pregame screen they were not to be messed with.
Well, if that isn't a statement of here we are, I don't know what is. So I'm really excited to see where Meat Patel's Mighty Mallards goes with this tournament. But we've seen what they are like on Zon as a powerhouse, but now Zon is completely off the table for them until after regular season. So I'm excited to see what they bring in week 2.
Yep. We're going to kick it over to intermission. Thank you so much, CO, for joining us on the TriCast here. I think you're going to step away. We might be seeing you in another capacity shortly.
Yes.
But thank you so much. And
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Good casting, good casting. Mango and I will be back for game 2, so don't go anywhere. What's up, everybody? Hopefully you can hear me. See if the chat responds. What's up, chat? We got game 2.
Let's go.
We're as you see the logos, Paul, which stands for, I think it stands for, I always want to call them Pyro's Angry Wolves, but I think they're Pyro's Aggressive Wolves is the proper name. And then we've got the Paw Patrol. And then we've got Sand, which is Josh's representation. He's the mascot for that team. That's Josh's, I believe they're the Sand Snakes, if I'm not mistaken. So
Josh's Sand Snakes.
got a classic matchup, really, going back to the earliest days of the server. Pyro versus Josh, 2 of the founding support members of the community. Pit it once again in battle here. Their teams ready to do battle. We do know that Pyro's Aggressive Wolves opted to pick Noxus here. So we're going to get to see a different region take to the Rift. And the Sand Snakes are going with Zon as well. So we're going to see Zon ran back here. Looks to be a popular pick in week 1. So we'll have to see if they go with the same comp or if they choose to change it up and show us a different look with Zon. But Noxus is good. What champ do you want to see out of Noxus, Mango? If you had your pick, if you had your wish list, what do you want to see the Aggressive Wolves here play?
Let's see. I think the only one that I know is probably going to get played, at the top of my head, is probably going to end up being Darius. Not that I want to see him, but yeah. That's like one of the staples of Noxus. I hear Noxus, and that's all I hear in my head. Noxus will rise.
Yeah, I feel like we got to get a Darius versus Garen match. Noxus versus Amasi, at least once. I feel like
At some point in time, hopefully.
that's the classic. Look to get in the draft here. Paw Patrol does have the first pick. God, I hope Pyro's not in the audience. If he hears me call him Paw Patrol, this might be my last cast. This might be the last you ever hear. It might be the last you ever hear from me. So no one tell him. No one tell Pyro. Ooh, Talon. That's a very Noxus champion. I like seeing that locked in.
It's true.
I like it. Aggressive.
Very Noxian.
Aggressive right off the bat. Dr. Mundo. Okay, so that's a different Zon champion. Coming through. The doctor himself. Yeah, Troll, good point. If everyone has called him Paw Patrol, can he really ban all of us? That's a good point. Strength in numbers.
I mean, technically, he can ban everybody, but then would there anybody be left to play these games?
This is true. Ooh, Twitch. I was wondering, that's the other kind of hyper carry from Zon that I was wondering if we get to see. So Twitch locked in.
Ooh, the Draven.
Welcome to the League of Draven.
Come on, now you definitely have to play the Darius. I mean, it's a brother, right?
Yeah. Get the duo here. Get the brotherly duo. It's a Rel. That's interesting. Rel, definitely one of the supports you can take from Noxus. You've got access to things like the Alistar, the Annie if you want to run it, but they're going to opt in for the Rel here, paired up with the Draven. And we'll see what the Sand Snakes look to counter that up with their third pick.
Echo.
Another Echo. Gives them some good AP damage. The Zeri, that'd be interesting. They already have the Twitch, so.
The Twitch can go jungle or even mid.
Renata. There you go. Yeah, I think Renata's probably one of the best in class supports you can get from Zon. Feels pretty strong.
Too strong.
Yeah, I like Renata into Rel too. She feels pretty strong into Rel.
Yep. Rel dives in, you just ult and everything else negated. Okay.
Exactly. Okay, Scion, yep. Good pick. So I don't know that we're gonna get the Darius, but
we're not gonna get the Darius.
we will get the Scion here. And the Cassiopeia. Hover. It's a strong pick. They do need AP damage, so you'd be hard pressed to find a better source of AP damage than Cass, especially from Noxus. So does come through. So that's gonna be a Talon, Draven, Rel, Scion, and Cassio versus there's that Zeri hover again. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. You're not gonna fool me. Not gonna fool me. So that's almost certainly a Talon jungle, right?
Warwick. Yes, most.
Into the Warwick. So you're a Warwick kind of guy, a Warwick enthusiast. Have you played the Warwick Talon matchup?
Not so much, because you don't really see Talon in the jungle that often anymore. He's just not really played that much. Not that he's bad or anything. You just don't really see him that often.
Fair.
But it's Thrasher, is it not, on the Talon? I mean, that's scary itself.
Yeah, no, he knows his way around the jungle of Summoner's Rift here. So
And that's a Warwick top and a Mundo jungle.
really, okay, I like it. So that's gonna be Dr. Mundo in the jungle. So we'll run. It looks like we're gonna get another kind of 5-point defense. So we'll run through on the Sand Snakes. You've got Smokestack, Key, Eli, Jimbo, and Logros rounding out their roster here for the first game of the season. And then on the side of Pyro's aggressive Wolves, you have Supro, Thrasher, CO filling in the mid lane, Delta, Ace in the hole on the Draven, and then Pyro himself on the Rel, rounding out the bot side there. Should be pretty exciting. I don't know what you think one lane stand out to you over the others where you think a lot of the early action might come through?
I think bot lane might have a little bit of aggressiveness just because Jimbo can go invisible and just pop up out of nowhere unexpectedly. And just show up and start shooting them.
Yep, that is the Twitch the Twitch special right there. Jimbo, no stranger to hyper carries himself, so we'll have to see. We're underway. I kind of agree too. The bot lane's the one I'm watching right now, in particular because there's a Draven, so you always got to figure there's gonna be early game action when there's a Draven involved. He's either getting kills or he's gonna get killed, right? Like there's no in between. I feel like.
Yep, that's the way of the Noxus.
That is the way of the Noxus. It's really interesting how just being locked, like Regent locked, can show us some different looks from a lot of these players.
Yeah, it definitely has to open up your abilities more and how skilled of a player you are, not necessarily on just one champion, just to be able to pick one out of the slew that you can and make it work.
For sure. Or you know, like we saw last game, Exodus is obviously a very skilled Urgot player, but can you build a team around the fact that you pick Zon, he gets Urgot, but then you know everybody else is the answer in that game was yes, like you absolutely can. But then your team has to find a way to kind of round out the comp there. Upper channels. Some pretty good damage here on the Q. Smoke trading back as much as he can. He's taking a lot of minion damage too. Both are going to heal up. We've got some action in the mid lane too. Eli going aggressive. The Ignite is ticking. Flashes burned on both sides. No kills yet, but a couple players getting dangerously close.
I've been known to play Warwick top lane too, so even though he looks slow, it does not necessarily mean he's going to die.
That is true. That is a Mango special for sure. Well, I think we were just 100% wrong. We saw action in every lane before bot lane, so that just shows what do we know? What do we know? Oh, we've got a potential gank here. Smoke will fear the Scion. Supro desperately trying to get to his tower. Will burn the flash. Gets away for the moment. Will go down. That is a ton of damage from that tower shot. Supro
Got a double
manages to thwart the dive. That is absolutely exactly what you want when you get dove. Double kill. And he's got TP, so he's going to be able to get back into that lane ASAP. Smoke will have to walk back to lane. Supro sitting pretty in the top lane. That was that was well done. That is exactly what you want to happen. Ooh, Pyro went aggressive. I don't think anything much more than that will materialize.
He just proved why you do not dive a Scion.
Yes. Yeah, because even if you kill him, he's coming back. So that is a tough lane to dive. They're gonna see Key coming here for the wraparound gank. Should probably be able to get out. Yeah, it looks like they'll be safe. CO farming up from caster booth to mid lane on the rift on the Cassier. She's farming up. Trying to keep pace with the Echo.
Even pretty much across the board, except for top lane. Supro's got about almost a 10 CS lead.
Yep. For sure. He 10 CS lead plus the 2 kills. He's looking good. Pyro goes in aggressive, does get the CC chain. A lot of damage coming down. Ignite is ticking, not enough to take out Jimbo. Jimbo's going to go invisible now, and Key is here on the Mundo with the gank. The cleavers do connect. Pyro now running for the hills, has to burn the flash. Another cleaver could slow him down. Key is going to go aggressive here. He is diving. We'll take 1 tower shot, 2 tower shots. Pyro gets out with his life. No one will fall on the side of Sand Snakes. We got aggression up here in the top lane too. Supper goes in with the ultimate, super aggressive. Smoke comes back to trade. Heals up. That's a really nice move, but Thrasher there to pick up the cleanup, and Pyro here is in a bit of a sticky situation. He's going to get dove here. Giant wave. The cleaver to the head will take him out. That's a dead rel. He will walk away, and the bot lane duo of Sand Snakes will get a plate for their trouble as well.
Unfortunately, he was stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Jimbo does have to burn flash there. Yeah, that's the one where you're just like, well, actually, Supro will go down, and certainly he won't have the damage this time. He'll just elect to maybe pick up some farm, get some damage over onto the tower. No kill pressure this time. Yeah, no, I agree. That's like a tough one when you're surrounded by 3 people and they're just crashing that wave in. There's not much you can do there. Still, just kind of a farm off here in the mid lane between CO and Eli. Maybe room. I don't know, how easy is it to gank an Echo, because he's been pushed up, so there's like a window, but he's got ult. I feel like it might be hard. You were saying
after level 6, it becomes incredibly hard, because I mean, if he just, especially for a Talon, you jump in, you hit him a couple times, and he just gets low and ults away.
Yeah.
Granted, his ult's down, but he still lives.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's see, Supro going to try and trade back. I see what you mean with that top lane Warwick. Really just seems to be able to regenerate that health bar pretty much at will every time he goes in for the trade.
There's only one downside to a Warwick top. No mana.
Thrasher's coming in for a gank mid. The top laners are still trading. Supper goes for the smash. We've got action in the bot lane potentially too. Everyone's just kind of playing on tippy toes right now, waiting to see who's going to pull the trigger. It might be Eli here going aggressive. Proxy Electrocute will go in. The ultimate, the Ignite is down. Has to burn flash yet again. CO able to stay safe. Playing into Eli here on the Echo. She gets out with her life.
On 1 HP, she gets out.
Yep, hey, that's all you need.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Aggressive look forward. Pyro does find the CC, but The hostile takeover will buy space and time. Jimbo trading back that poison ticks. He's able to rend out the rel. Pyro drops. That's a kill going over onto the Twitch. Smoke trying to heal back, taking minion damage. Shield is down. He's going to fall. Supro now looking to get out. That's double buffs on key. Will be able pressure Supro back, but Thrasher is here coming over the wall. That's the ultimate there. That's a lot of damage. Mundo is tanky, but not tanky enough. Thrasher there to save his top laner, or maybe his top laner set that up as a bait. The world may never know, but that is going to be a plate. More farm, more time.
No.
I don't know. Supro knows that Eli's here. We're going round 3 in the top lane. Supro trying to retreat back. Thrasher's in the area. We'll have to see if the call is to go for it. They elect to back off. Supro taking a well-deserved back. May leave a window where they could make. Maybe something happened around Herald. I think they're a little leery because they don't know where Thrasher's going, and he's definitely scary with 2 kills at this point.
That was a good idea for Eli in the mid lane to go through the Baron pit and jump over the wall instead of just walking straight down the river without knowing where Thrasher or CO were exactly.
You don't want to run into. God, you run into either of them. You face a Cassio ult in a bush, and that might be all she wrote. Fire Drake going over to Sand Snakes. Both teams kind of holding steady. Gold's relatively similar. Kills dead even.
0.2k difference in gold, roughly.
Yeah. No, feels pretty tight here. This stage of the game. Both sides definitely claim some advantages. Oh, this is I don't know if they see Key in there. They certainly see him now. He comes out of the bush. There's the cleaver. He's getting the slow. Hostile takeover will connect, but he'll be safely under the tower. I think that'll stop the aggression there in the bot lane. Smoke going aggressive here too. It is now a proper 3v3, but the aggressive Wolves definitely have a health bar disadvantage in the bot lane, doing what they can. While Supro and Smoke continue to wail on each other up here. This is risky. This is going to be a big wave, a cannon wave. If the Wolves decide to stay around, we might see a dive executed. CO again takes damage from the electrocute. I think she's going to be okay. We've got action happening everywhere. Here we go in the bot lane. This is the 3v3 we were looking for. He goes in. Logros and Thrasher both popping damage left and right. Here comes Jimbo. The poison is ticking. They tick up 2. Delta has to flash. Ace in the hole. God, he's got to have like 10 health at the most. He's going to get out of there. There's another kill going over to the Twitch. Logros picks one up on the Renata. You kind of felt that dive was coming based on the health bar.
Oh, definitely.
And the wave. But, whew. Delta did well to get out of there.
It's harder to counteract a, what is that item called now? The mythic that Mundo has.
Oh, Heartsteel?
Heartsteel Mundo already.
Yeah. No, that's a great call. Look how early he's got that mythic online. Supro also has the completed mythic, but I don't know if it's going to save him. He does interrupt the damage chain there. He's baiting Smoke here. He's daring him to come under tower, and Thrasher was there if the bait was taken. Yeah, that's a good call. Once Mundo has that Heartsteel, he starts to hurt quite a bit. And he's only going to get tankier from here. He might get a gank here. Thrasher stayed up. Supper did burn the TP. Whew.
Deleted.
Excuse me?
Smoke, where'd you go, man?
That was disgusting.
You literally went up in smoke.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. That is a dead Warwick. That Talon, pretty scary right now.
As you get to see the CS leads coming out in the lanes.
Ooh. Yeah, this is a good rotate out of the Wolves bot lane. They're going to be here first. have the numbers advantage, but Logos is making his way up as well. All 5 members of the Wolves here for this Herald fight. Jimbo, he's staying bot, so this should be their Herald for the taking. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, it looks like the snakes are just giving over the Herald. They don't want to fight it.
Yeah, there's a good rotate, really good rotate out of the Wolves. So I think knowing that Jimbo wasn't in a spot to rotate up quite as fast, it makes sense for them to give that there. But he's here now. Ooh, handshake does connect. Hostile takeover goes out. Pyro's in deep, and Rel doesn't have a great escape, but he's able to just tank up that damage and walk out. He's going to be okay. Damage again going over to Supro. He gets so low in these fights. Warwick, that ultimate did lock Scion up in place, but the damage just was not there. Supro's going to go down 1 tower shot, 2 tower shots over onto the Warwick. The fear is popped. That might give Smoke the space he needs to get away. And if not, that heal will certainly give him the breathing room. There you go. He killed the Scion. The Scion has fallen.
Warwick is so strong, especially on Warwick.
Yes. Yeah, there's a reason Warwicks go that first over Mythic. It is quite strong. Ooh. Is there anybody at this point? I'm pretty sure Thrasher can one-shot anyone that's not named Mundo, right?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Maybe Logos can survive it just because he'll be able to. Same with Eli, just because he's got the able to be able to dip out real quick.
Fair.
Other than that,
get a dragon take. That's dragon number 2. So getting a nice slight kill lead. Could dragon lead. Sand snakes. Snakes looking in control. They're also going to get a tower. So, yeah, I think sand snakes are starting to feel like the team controlling the pace of this one. But the aggressive Wolves are not out of it by any stretch. We'll just have to see like where they look to kind of fight their way back into control of this game.
Thrasher's here for this.
Yeah, definitely 1 point of power is Thrasher. You see another gank here. He wants to flash out. Oh, that healing on the Warwick is just disgusting. Jimbo gets in unseen on the Twitch. He is looking for that Talon. He's not quite sure. He's going to turn back with the rest of his team. The 2-man knock-up out of the Scion. Here comes Pyro. He gets the knock-up. Hostile takeover will buy some space here. Jimbo, rat-tat-tat, will take down the Rel. Supro trying his best to get out of here. I think he is also not long for this world. It's going to be 2 kills going in favor of the Sand Snakes. You have to figure they have more towers in their sight here. Yeah, they definitely have more towers in their sight. That's popped Shirelia's just to get the team moving quicker over towards this mid lane.
You don't have objective timers up currently, so okay, so we got 2:11 left until really any big objective is up, so they're gonna.
Yeah, we got time. We got time. Does this echo? Oh, no, that's the Thrasher on the Talon. That's one thing. He can one-shot a lot of people, but he can also find himself dead very, very quickly if he's caught out without the rest of his team. This is the window. A lot of Paul's power here is off the rift for a brief moment of time. What will Sand Snakes look to get done before Thrasher comes back up? That is the question. Key going aggressive. Pyro returns in kind. Supro's in. Goes unstoppable. Does connect, but the fight is on. Sand Snakes do a nice job kiting back. Smoke was looking for that window, looking for that flank. You can see him and Eli both in the jungle there. It didn't materialize. That could have been dangerous, but nothing more is going to come from that skirmish.
Yeah, Spook on the ward got spotted out by the ward that was in the jungle right there, so they let them to back off a little bit instead of trying to pursue and dive them.
Yeah, that's good. I think that was a good set. That ward wasn't there. They may have to your point, they may have overcommitted, and even with the numbers advantage, they might have found themselves. Oh, 6-11, 2 Drakes. Baron's gonna be up very, very soon. We'll have to see. This is a very, very hard to kill Warwick, but they're gonna do their best. Pyro's flanking from the jungle too. Smoke has to burn his ultimate just to get out of harm's way. That'll be down. He will be forced to back. And remember, no TP on Smoke as the Baron spawns, but I don't think either team is in position to take this on spawn, so we'll have to see where they look to next to fight.
That is a good point CEO made in the chat, that both mid laners are 0-0-0.
Yeah. That's actually crazy. It is actually crazy. And it's not like kills haven't come this game. We've seen kills a lot, but... Ooh! Oh my goodness. Eli just manages to get out of that Cassio ult. The fight is on though. Thrasher over the wall. He's in. He deals a lot of damage, but takes a lot back in kind. The hostile takeover flies through the team fight. Key is able to pick up a kill onto Pyro. They've got the numbers advantage. Smoke looking for an angle. Remember, that ultimate should be down still. It doesn't stop him from running really fast and being really scary, though.
Yeah, you made the point of he didn't have TP, but Warwick doesn't care if he got TP. If they're low, he's zooming.
That's true. That's true. He's going to be there. He's going to be there real quick. He's going to be there real fast. It looks like, unless some really weird happens. Yeah, there you go. Third Drake over to Sand Snakes. Puts them on Soul Point. They are definitely the ones in control of this game right now. The Draven, the early game pressure from the Draven, so that didn't end up coming to fruition. You still got scaling out of your Cassio. Ooh, hold that. Thought Logros is gonna just get out. Smoke is here to try and get some revenge. Thrasher taking a lot of damage. He's trying. He's got fancy feet. He will get out and pick up the kill somehow. I have no idea. That's absolute. That's a magician right there. That's a. I have no idea. I'm gonna call him the escape artist after that one. I have no. Not only did he get out with his life, but he picked up the kill.
He watched that movie Happy Feet, so he learned how to tiptoe and jive and dab and slip and slide.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Okay, I mean, I was going to call him the escape artist, but we can call him Happy Feed. That's I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one. Yeah. It's for me, it's the fact you got the kill as well.
Oh yeah.
That's like, I've seen people get out of like tight spots, but to get the kill and get out is that's next level. That takes it next level. Could potentially see. I think what you need is like you need Jimbo probably off the board in these team fights. So I think like Thrasher certainly he has the champion to be able to kind of flank and maybe find the Twitch, but I don't know. It's pretty hard considering Jimbo's really smart about how he uses that invisibility. Ooh, CO. He's going to find her way into the jungle. Well, Zanya's just to buy a little bit more time. Renata ult is down, but so is the Cassio.
Yeah, the Sand Snakes have a really good team fight, 5-man running around.
Yeah, I'm seeing that this is now the second game of Zon that we're seeing in week 1, but Zon as a whole feels like a really strong team fight region for sure. No, we've seen two different looks out of Zon, but both these Zon comps feel very, very strong in team fights.
Most
They're
definitely.
gonna turn on the Baron Nashor here. Down to about 50% health. Thrasher in the area on this side of the map, but isn't gonna overcommit. He kind of knows a lot of the kill pressure that the Wolves have rely on him being up and alive. So I think he's gonna let the Baron go over without a contest. Continue to farm up, and they're just hoping to find that one miracle flank or that engage that could really turn one of these team fights in their favor.
All we need is get a little bit more gold on both CO and Ace, and things could turn different.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely. Definitely agree. Low Gross will be spotted out. He wants the juice berries. He wants the honey fruit, but the Wolves want him dead, and they're going to get their wish here. Renata will fall. There you go. That's the pick I'm talking about. They've got really good pick potential. So if they can string more of those together, preferably if they can get one on Jimbo to collect that bounty as well, that could be really big way for the Wolves to get back into this one.
I think that's the only time they're ever really going to get a pick is on the support, just because they're going to go ward. Most of the time they're going to group up as 5 and run it together just because you know how strong they are together. And how probable they are alone.
Our bounty will be collected for the Wolves here. They retreat back. We're going to have a soul fight in under 20 seconds here. Both teams kind of feeling their opponents out. They want to control this corridor here into the river. Sand Snakes are first to the pit. Supro, someone's got a face check. It might as well be the Scion. The team fight is popping off. Hostile takeover knocks up 3 people. The fight is on, but Sand Snakes are absolutely routing their opponents. Not a single member is going to go down. Oh, did I jinx it? No, not even close. Jimbo's totally fine. Wasn't scared even for a second. Yeah, not a single member is going to go down. That hostile takeover bought so much time and space. Jimbo was able to free fire. A lot of damage did come down onto him, but he was able to keep his footing, keep his positioning. Just honestly, well fought team fight out of the entire side of Sand Snakes there. They pick up the soul. They pick up a clean ace. They pick up the mid tower, and they're looking for more.
They're probably going to get in hit and probably back off just because everybody's going to be up. They can look for another fight, but I'm sure they're going to push more than that.
Yeah. They could have. I think they're without Jimbo there, I think they're content to just take it and scatter. They definitely are going to have some gold in their pocket to spend. We might get a return kill here. Thrasher going deep. Jimbo will trade back just so much damage. Will save his support here. Dishing out enough damage to take out the Talon. And now they're going to back. The recalls are channeled here. No interrupts. Certainly a decent chunk of gold for all members of Sand Snakes. And they are going to be scary in the next 5v5 team fight.
Oh, yeah.
Was that 3?
Something happened, but unfortunately met with the super tank jungler and super fed DDC.
Yeah, Jimbo's on 3.5 items now, so that's a pretty strong twitch. That is a pretty scary rat. Kind of feel like the walls are starting to slowly close in for Pyro's aggressive wolves. Sand Snake's doing a nice job focusing around this top side of the map. There's an ultimate in from the Warwick. That's about a max range ultimate. Will connect and pick up the kill onto CO. And now the fight is on. The route is on. They're looking to dive. This tower does not have enough damage to really dissuade this at all. Jimbo picks up the triple. Can he get the quadra? Eli's going to pick up one. It is now Supro versus the entire enemy team. He's going to fall to Logros. The tower will fall. You have to figure, with the way the death timers are, this should be the end of our second game here in week 1. Another Zon victory.
Yep.
Zon looking like the team to beat, the regent to beat.
Player bad
so far. But I mean, it's worth pointing out that now those two teams can't play Zon the rest of the season, so it looks strong. It looks strong, but we'll have to see what else people can come up with when they are forced on other regions.
Duly noted. If you want to win, plays on.
Yeah, so far that's got a 100% success rate. So there you go. That's top tier advice here from Coach Mango. Zon equals win. Zon equals win. I think we're going to kick it over to intermission here. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to dip out of the caster booth because my team's game is next. But we'll be back very shortly. Mango, the constant professional here, holding it down all 3 games. And I believe that production's wiring in. We're going to get the one and only Lord Solar Bear here to jump in for our final cast of the night. The man, the myth, the legend himself. So please stick with us one more game. We'll be back to round out the stream. See y'all shortly.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the voice of Lord Solar Bear. Did I expect to cast this evening? If you asked me 20 minutes ago, I would have said no. But here I am. I'm here with Mango. We have some great games ahead of us, Mango, which I'm extremely excited about. And we have the King Kublai team, which I am forgetting the name of exactly. And we've got Drubert's Croaksworth Cabal, King's Golden Horde. He's got something to do with the Mongol Empire and his obsession with them, which I find quite endearing. And any of the history buffs and any of the longtime viewers of our esports scene probably know and love King for his Mongolian obsession. We've got ourselves a battle here. I do know that, of course, King Kublai is on the KGH team. He also has Sedatin with him and Forwick. I believe Forwick will be subbed out tonight for the illustrious Siofra, who should be running in that bot lane with Sedatin. And then on the side of Drubert's team, they're renowned for having Ajuka in the top lane, who was obviously an absolute monster in the regular season of our last tournament. So, Mango, we don't know any of the picks yet, and I forget which regions they ended up picking, both these two teams. Just off of reputation, just off of what we know about the players, who are you siding with tonight? Who do you think the winner is when all the dust settles?
I'm kind of impartial. I have to go with the Druberts because he's my first captain on the Chomping Gromps. I have to side with him.
Chomping
Always.
Gromps. And leading it off, it looks like King's Golden Horde has walked in Senna. That's going to imply a Shadow Isles region for them. Shadow Isles, I think, is probably mid-table. They have some really powerful picks. They have a couple of situations where you're kind of you have some lackluster options, and particularly in the marksman department. You pick Senna or you pick Callista. Callista's kind of hard to pilot, so typically teams are going to go and give the nod towards Senna. Then answering off, Drubert says, okay, well, we go in. We have Jarvan, Silas, whatever good ultimates that you think that you're going to get to use this game, we get to use them too. And we have a free engage button off of that J4, long time power pick in any meta. Response, I think, is pretty interesting. We have both Thresh and Maokai. I think both those champions apply kind of the same play style of disruption and knocking enemies off of their carries. What do you think about that one, Mango?
And they're pretty good to be able to, deal with the die from the Jarvan and the Silas, try to back them off and keep their carries protected.
That's right. And I'm curious if, this could potentially be like a Viego composition here. Since we have like Senna healing over the top, we have like Maokai and Thresh. They're going to go towards the Hecarim. Okay, that makes some sense too. Because you need some supplemental DPS to really help the Senna out. Otherwise, she's going to feel kind of sad. And when we look over at the Demacia side of things, Vayne's got the deeps. And you really need to shut her down before she gets fully activated. Is that going to be a Karthus? Vex? Okay, so this is probably the mid lane pick, perhaps.
Ooh.
We're looking at a couple different things. It looks like they're going to settle in for that Gwen. It's really interesting. I don't know how you feel about Gwen in this matchup, Mango. I'm not really sure what big range damage over the top Gwen's attempting to dodge out, and then with it looks like a Garen lock on the Demacia side. A lot of these champions are more than happy being in melee range with you. And oh, wait, Fiora perhaps? Okay, it's going to be a Fiora pick. So here we have it. We have our two team compositions. Is there anything striking you just off first analysis here?
My curiosity is the interaction between Gwen and Morgana Q. I have not personally seen it, but if she's in her W, does the Q not actually affect her, or does it still root her?
That's something I don't know. My intuition is okay. Well, according to production, it goes straight through her. So that's actually pretty powerful interaction there. Something that I'm pretty scared of is this Fiora pick that's probably going to go into the hands of Ajuka. And Ajuka is typically very dominant in any top lane performance, and Fiora is a very dominant character in general in the current meta. So I don't really see a character on King's Golden Horde who can go toe-to-toe fisticuffs with Ajuka on that Fiora, but we'll see what ends up happening in the actual game. Other than that, I mean, Black Shield's a really powerful spell tool that can make Vayne immune to CC effects, and let her roll into the midst of the Golden Horde and start shooting people to death with her silver bolts. So I think the onus is on King's side to win either early game or very late. I think the Demacia team has a really powerful mid-game composition where they can win between the 15 to 25 minute time frame is what I'm expecting. But we'll see.
Those teams have some pretty good scaling too.
They do. It's hard for me to bet against the Senna for scaling because
Yeah.
while Vayne is good, Vayne eventually stops scaling at 6 items, and Senna says, "Yeah, okay, hold my drink. Let me just continue to get more crit chance, more attack speed." Oh, she doesn't get attack speed. She gets attack damage and she gets range. And any marksman player, I don't know anyone who would ever play that godforsaken role. Those are kind of the stats you want. You want range and crit damage and crit chance, really. So it looks like right off the bat we're gonna have a 5-man stack out of blue side. And a little bit of a cheeky jungle invade off of red. I think perhaps just for vision, or perhaps for just some, maybe like a sloppier late roam up there from the blue side top laner. But thus far, nothing too spicy has occurred. And
That was
something to
the
note-
sorry. That's a different beginning from the last 2 games we had. The last 2 games were just textbook 5-point.
Mhm.
This one went to, are they going to invade? Do we catch them? Or versus, let's still cook some.
Yeah. And Productions reminding us that Apricot and the Thresh there is our one and only CO, just on a different account. So go CO. No bias at all. And another thing to kind of point out here is we've got CO Sedatin in the bot lane. Pretty powerful one. Sedatin is arguably the #1 support in our format. On the other side of things, we have Drubert Theo, who is under the IGN of Evo ADC. Theo is a beast. So definitely watch out for Theo. I'm gonna grab my notepad and take some notes while I'm casting this game because he's exciting. A little bit of a miscomm there with a Thresh Q, but that kind of stuff happens. Then Sedatin, whoa, they're pushing up a little far, gets rooted in place, his Q's backwards, and then okay, I guess red side doesn't want a free kill, but Sedatin ends up living with a little bit of life and is going to attempt to heal himself back up to full with his Senna Qs. While Ajuka hops in there, Kishmax says, "Nah, get off me, man. I don't want you here." Just able to do Maokai things and make sure that he buys himself some space away from the French fencer.
That is one good thing with the Maokai into the Fiora is that he can bounce her off if need be to protect himself a little bit better.
That's right. Because Fiora wins extended trades against pretty much anyone, but Maokai has really good burst and really good abilities, and so you essentially want to fight around your cooldowns. Make sure that you only take engagements where you do have them, and you want to get out as quickly as you can when kind of the value over time battle. But so far so good on both sides of the map. I think there's like a relatively disparate CSing at this point. Some of the lanes are falling a bit behind, but it's so early in the game, it's kind of hard to tell what that's going to end up looking like.
I'm not sure. Okay, it says, I think it's 8 CS for Kishmak top lane.
That's right.
For a moment, it looked like it's 0. I'm like, whoa, that can't be right.
And take a look at this. We have Artemis in the top lane on J4. He's going to catch out King Kublai in the middle of the river, who they both detaunt back away. Ajuka probably doesn't want to run that down and lose too much CS to attempt to clean up that blue side jungler. But almost we get a flash out of CO, hooks in the opposition, hooks in the Silas, who ends up getting on top of Sedatin anyway for first blood, while King Kublai goes galloping up towards his top side, kicks back the Jarvan, who's able to just flag and drag his way to safety as well. So lots of action going up and down the map. We have Evo Snyderman, the team captain for the Feather Friends from last season, being called up onto that top lane play. Nothing pans out of it, and unfortunately, the Silo skank into the bot lane ends up paying their wallets that 400 first blood gold. Getting themselves a little bit of a salary here, Mango. Revenger's like, I want to cash those checks. Give it to me. Oh, does he recall? Ah, man. Kishmak, you had that. And King just says, my Scuttle Crab, I don't know if that was worth it, King. There's a lot of Cabal members all around you. So King kind of just feels bad for the other team and donates them some gold away. Like he got the Scuttle Crab, so that was so worth it for him. He felt bad. But in all seriousness, little miscoms like that are certainly bound to happen.
It's early in this little off season, so still gotta work out the kinks a little bit.
Yeah, it could be first game jitters. It could just be if you're having so much fun. You think you could 1v4. Maybe King can actually. Very talented player. But I know in that situation I die there for nothing, and I don't get the scuttle crab. Oh, nice immune there to make sure that
Nice.
make sure that Snyderman doesn't get knocked up by that Silas engage there. Really good trade in the mid lane. And Ajuk is just able to invuln part of the combo out of this Maokai, who is now out of mana. So even though the health bar looks really favorable for Maokai, I actually think that Maokai needs to give up this lane state as it is. And overall, that's a really good situation for Ajuka to hold the lane at, because I think he prevented a full crash. He should be able to maintain that same position right here in a really safe spot of the lane, which makes him essentially ungankable. So that's a really powerful, a really tiny little lane mechanic that Ajuka has utilized here. And we're kind of seeing the same thing out of Revenger. Revenger is fighting pretty aggressively to maintain his wave state right there under his own tower. And that just makes King's job extra hard and makes it really hard for him to find any angles on these solo lanes. And then on the flip side here, we actually have Red's bot lane who's building up a slow push. And I really like this too, because you're playing into Thresh. Oh, and we just watched Theo completely, smurf that roll and make sure he doesn't get hit by the Q. So that gets thrown to the air by Jarvan, and Theo, maybe canceled the auto attack there on Sedatin, but that was a really clean play by both sides. Someone should have definitely died to that gank.
Oh,
And then, whoa! Theo, okay, pulls the J4 in the middle of minions and underneath tower, almost gets a return kill, 2v3. Really good play, really good heads up play by the Thresh.
Getting a little spicy out here.
It is getting a little spicy, muy caliente. I
Just,
think
throw it in the needle a little bit. Throw it in the
Yeah.
needle.
That's like a 500,000 Scoville kind of Thresh play, Like I'm not. It's not something that's gonna burn your tongue off, but that looked pretty good to me. And meanwhile, King just says, "I'm top laner now too, and I can run past you." Has to ult away from the Fiora R, whatever duelist challenge R thing, Fiora French, that ability.
You're French.
Yeah, something. It's like brie cheese, I think is what the ability is called.
Nice.
But just yeah, I know I'm full of them. Gets himself to safety there. I think it's a worthy trade, but you can't fault Ajuka for trying.
Nope. Right now, Juga's got that lovely 30 CS lead.
And it's still
Gonna be happy.
pumping.
Nice little lead when he comes back from lane, from basing and having some juicy juice.
Absolutely, and this Sheen is doing work for him in these little small trades. It's proccing pretty much every time he goes in on top of Kishmak, and it just adds a lot of free damage to these little burst trades. And again, this wave is still pushing towards Ajuka's side, which just makes it extra hard for the Maokai to keep up in that CS department. So this is like a textbook, and oh my god, is Snyderman and Revenger just trading needles back and forth? I thought that wasn't healthy to do that. You're not supposed to trade needles. And Snyderman falls in that play. Revenger gets the better of the needlework back and forth as we see Seo run in here, get a double kill on top of the Morgana and the J4, and Theo is. Wait, can Theo do this? Theo just collapsed the Thresh, deletes them, throws Sedatin back into the midst of their base. Revenger comes down to help his boy out. Triple kill out of the Vayne. Oh my god. Mango, that fight looked so good for Blue's side until it wasn't.
Absolutely. They had a little help from the dragon there to finish off King as well, because he was rooted or stunned or something right there next to the dragon, and the dragon's like, ooh, mine, tasty.
Let me just breathe all over you, as Revenger might get the dragon treatment, but oh my god, Theo! Perfect use of that condemn out of Vayne to make sure he saves Revenger's life. Revenger, you owe him a coffee. Oh my god. Evo ADC is unstoppable. King gets pulled to safety by the Lantern. Dragon goes over to King's Golden Horde, though. So while you are trading a bunch of gold out for it, eventually maybe a Dragon stacking win condition is enabled just off the fact that they did pick up that early Dragon.
It's just the first Dragon. It's
a
little bit much to fight over this early, especially giving so much gold over to Theo, 5-0 on that Vayne. Gonna make a lane that was looking pretty even with the Thresh hooks and all that, and Now it's just going to be a little bit harder for them to be able to actually command the lane as much.
Yeah. And this was a situation where I would feel pretty good being on Theo's team, even if he wasn't 5-0. But this is a double buff 5-0 Vayne who's just power scaling into the stratosphere at this point. So I'm very concerned for King's Golden Horde. But I also don't think they're out of it. They do have a lot of good CC options that can, hold that Vayne in place and delete her. And if Theo's positioning slips up, then oh my, so Cataclysm goes down on top of Gwen, who just turns and deals some damage back to Revenger, but is not quite able to get the return kill for it. But if Theo's positioning slips up, he's probably the easiest character on his team to get deleted. And so that entire gold advantage can evanesce pretty quickly as Theo's rolling in here. But oh my god, right as the Black Shield times out, gets hit by a Q in the face. Shutdowns, 800 gold over to Sedatin. That really levels the playing field here quite a bit. As Quiche, Kublai, Ajuka, and Artemis are all duking it out in this top lane. Blast Cone knocks the Fiora out of the fight and towards, I guess, their own side of the map. There's just combat going up and down the entire rift here, Mango.
It's pure and utter mayhem. There's something you love to see in these early games. People testing limits, see how well they can play together and
Absolutely.
push their limits.
And also trying to make sure that there is, oh my god, as Theo just gets hit by that condemn, but then immediately yanks the Drubert into the midst of Sedatin, who just blows her up with his R. But oh man, can Theo take this fight here? I mean, Sedatin just tanked a tower shot, taking auto to auto, and I think both the AD carries are going to decide that they don't really want the rest of this. But I think you're right about that in the terms of, like, not only is it limit testing for your own champion, is King Kublai maybe attempts this invade here and just sidesteps the fear, but ends up falling anyway to Revenger and a little bit of that J4 Dragon flag action. Part of the limit testing here too is also limit testing your comms as a team. And so I wouldn't be particularly concerned if I was on King's Golden Horde. Like, there's been a couple of miscues, but there's lots of room for improvement to clean up this early game. We have Revenger jumping in on top of Snyderman there, who manages to slip his way to safety. Probably has to recall off of that. But yeah, so far, I mean, it looks like while Ajuka has a lead, Kishmak is, well, currently deathless. So we'll see if Caster Curse is about to change that one. Quiche, can you Houdini your way out of this? Ajuka looks like a decent target. No, gonna get knocked up by the Jarvan. Knocks both in the back, and then Cataclysm's committed, just to guarantee this, make sure that, that the tree can't hide in the grass or do something like that. Wouldn't that be an interesting mechanic, Mango, if Maokai could, like, hop over the side of the rift and hide with those trees in the backdrop? Just if he stands...
Be a nice thing.
Yeah, if he stands still enough, he just becomes the backdrop and you can't target him. That'd be fun.
Well, that'd be... Look at you giving Riot ideas. Then he'd pay you.
They should. I would accept a champion design job. I'd also accept a balance team job at Riot Games. Hit me up. You can't find me on Twitter, so email me. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good effort there by Theo, or by CO. Attempting just to kind of fish for Theo. I'm definitely not going to get those two mixed up here. Then we have Black Shield down on top of the Vayne. Jarvan 4 is running down the bot lane, and then, whoop, guess what? We have Rift Herald. When did they get Rift Herald, Mango?
That is a good question.
And Shelly, go the other way. Shelly, Olympus is that way. Very nice. Okay, so they managed to trick the Rift Herald to charge in the right direction, knock out a good chunk of this bot lane tower, just open up the map, get a little bit of gold towards the Cabal's hands. They can invest that towards deleterious demonstrative items. And meanwhile, a little bit of production delay, but then we have Artemis just getting chunked down, and Kingo's unstoppable trying to get on top of this J4, who just barely manages to survive. But, ooh, Condemn! Condemn is the antithesis of everything King's Golden Horde is trying to do here, as Theo is just dealing out the hurt to the entirety of blue side. Scream went black, and before we know it, it's a double kill in the hands of Theo. 9-1 on this Vayne.
Triple kill.
Really strong performance out of Theo on this opening day here. And it looks like the second dragon is going to go over to the hands of the Cabal. Really nicely done. That was a really great skirmish, and I think it was really wise of the non-Artemis members to not just surrender on their boy. They knew that they could turn and fight and make sure that they kept him alive.
Great. That was almost a complete wipe. Gwen was the only one that was alive, surviving, getting some gold. The mid lane, just okay. I'll have fun down there. I'm just gonna be up here, get me some lunch money.
And it's surprising to me because in retrospect, that play looks a lot better if Gwen is there. So I almost wonder if there was a miscomm there. Like perhaps King's Golden Horde thought they had man advantage, or they had like equal numbers as opposed to being outnumbered. But either way, it's a miscomm. They'll happen. This is week 1, and this is why we play every team once during the round robin before playoffs, just to make sure that we can get any of these kind of discrepancies out of our systems.
I would like to point out that it looks like King has completed his Pokemon, while Artemis is still in the process of getting his. So that is going to be a speedy pony.
A speedy pony who gets free attack damage for the speed too.
Oh, definitely.
That is excellent. And we just while Mango was pointing out some jungler things that my AD carry brain can't understand because I'm not sophisticated enough, we did watch Revenger do a pretty nice little sneaky play there with the Blast Cone just to keep himself alive. And Juka is desperately holding on against the onslaught of this blue side bot lane in the bot lane there, continuing to duel his way to a French victory. And so far, I mean, I think considering how bad the early game has gone for King's Golden Horde, I think that they're actually in a relatively okay spot. Like, yes, they are far behind in gold. I think there's plenty of opportunity for them to level that out with individual champion shutdowns as well as objective gold. I also don't think their team necessarily needs to be ahead in gold at this point. You always want more money in your pockets, so I'm not making the argument that they're happy necessarily, but it's not as bad as it could be. And there's definitely a win con for them as we just watch the funniest interaction. I mean, just Silas and Maokai throwing roots back and forth, and looks like we just commit the Cataclysm again. Quiche, you got outplayed. He right-clicked you. Like, what can you say? There's nothing more about it. But as we can see here, I mean, Artemis is just laying down the hurt, laying down the pressure, making sure that he's in every lane as much as possible, making sure he's funneling this gold over to the characters on his team who skill better than that Jarvan 4. So, I mean, 0111 is close to the ideal Jarvan stat line. The only way it could be better is if it was 0011. So, Artemis is almost playing optimally.
It's good to see him back after a long period of time being out of the server and doing life things to come back and to be showing, I'm still here, guys.
Doing life things. And while Artemis was doing life things, Theo was doing Theo things and just beating down all the members of the Golden Horde, dealing out incredible amounts of damage, double kill out to this Vayne who maybe even wanted to go for Quiche back there. I think you're kind of lucky, Theo, that Quiche didn't realize how weak you were. That would have been one dead Vayne really quickly. But really good fight there, really good catch out by the Cabal, making sure that they're blowing up as many members of Golden Horde as they can in as short of a span as possible. And all of that just led off of the fact that Black Shield is a really powerful spell that prevents picks on your own side. Ooh. As we have, whoa, wait, does Snyderman have this? And that goes down the Vayne. Oh, barely scuffs the Gwen R. But that looked like a dead ADC. Really good effort there.
If those needles would have hit, Theo would have been gone, and Snyderman would have had 500 extra gold in his pocket.
Oh yeah, and Theo wants nothing to do with those needles. Like I've seen what's been going on in the mid lane. Like I don't want those. Those have been shared far too many times. We have a Revenger role-playing a jungle. We've seen jungle Silas. Now we see jungle mid Silas getting on top of Kishmak here, who just knocks the two away. All right. Well, I guess Jarvan had a little more success in that top lane, but you can't fault him for trying. And then we have a little bit of damage being traded out there by Artemis, who manages to hop away with most of his health remaining. That is a Gore Drinker Jarvan, so I don't really think he minds the missing health at this point because you can just leave on top of the enemy team and heal up for most of your missing health anyway.
And that's another Shelly that got sneaked out somewhere?
Yeah. Artemis says, me like Shelly, me like objectives, as Theo is playing with fire, but really dishing out this damage out to that Thresh. Making sure to level those health bars. And Dragon spawning pretty soon here. Looks like the Cabal is really looking for plays here. Instantly blows up Statin, who maybe was a bit overextended. Hecarim's able to get a return kill, but then trades his life away for it. Drubert, of all the characters there, gets the last hit on that horse. It's a really strong showing. I think that does stall out the Dragon, because I'm not really sure if Red Side wants to just go take that without a smite. Granted, there isn't a smite on King's Golden Horde to steal it away from them either.
I think
so this
they're
could
smart
go-
enough that they can just melt it down real quick.
They're a little more ambitious than I am. I'd be afraid of random needles or a tree or something coming and taking my Dragon. But meanwhile, Juga gets tossed under tower, and even with the tower shots, that still ends up being an even trade between the tree and the French duelist. I guess there isn't a France in Runeterra, so I guess she's just a Demacian duelist.
Nevertheless, she still like her baguettes.
Does Demacia have baguettes?
Oh.
Do they also have like an iron tower of some kind? Like I'm just curious. Like if okay. So here's what I'm really asking here, Mango. If the movie Ratatouille wasn't about Earth, but it was taking place in Runeterra, like I don't know, maybe Piltover has like a movie studio that they make, right? And they do like hex tech movies. So would Ratatouille take place in Demacia?
Maybe Piltover?
No, but think about the evidence here. Fiora isn't part of Piltover. Fiora's part of Demacia, right? So by that extension, everything we know about France is true about Demacia too, right?
Yeah. I can see it.
Okay. Demacia is Runeterra, France, confirmed. Excellent. As we have, back in the action here, we have a Baron fight being fought here. Massive ult over the top by Sadat, and huge shutdown there on top of Theo. And all of a sudden, Artemis ends up slaying King Kublai, but there are so many low health bars on this blue side. As Revenger is looking for a little bit here, ends up cleaning up the Maokai, but we have Sadat who's just free farming it on the back end of this. Right click after right click, deleting all the members of the Cabal. That's actually an ace for blue side. Incredible play.
The pendulum swings back the other direction.
That was a god tier team fight. Huge Maokai ult over the top, roots up so many members of Drubert's Croaksworth Cabal. And we have Free Fire Sadattin over the top with a huge Senna ult that hits all the members of his team with a massive shield and ends up deleting the hyper-fed Vayne at the top end of that fight. Really well played.
It was some quick, intense battling there.
That it was. Almost as intense as a Demacia Ratatouille. Demasatouille.
Demasatouille.
At Riot Games, hit me up for more cursed ideas. Trust me, I'm full of them. Speaking of Demasatouille, I think this Demacia cutie wants some of that Maokai booty.
Oh, that's not Maokai.
Oh, that's
a
actually
horsey.
that's a Hecarim. Well, same joke. Just replace one of the words. And speaking of Maokai, wow, he has foresight. This Maokai gets just safely walks away from red side. Nothing particularly exciting happens. As Sadattin runs in over the top, just make sure that her tree friend is nice and secure here. At this point, I mean, that's a lot of man advantage committed down here onto the bot side of the map. I mean, there's a potential for a pickoff here if King wants it. King just gets right on top of Theo, gets instantly deleted by Sadattin. Thresh over the top here, just make sure to pull Artemis in the middle of the team. And ooh, this is looking really good. I mean, the needlework comes in. That's a clean 3-for-1. King trades his life away to give his team a fighting chance in this game. Really well executed there.
All those team fights that went swingy into Blue's favor. King's Golden Horde is the needles from Snyderman flying over a good chunk of the team, doing that true damage.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Gwen damage has been the X factor in a lot of these fights. They just don't have the gold advantage that they need to kind of win this in more of like a standard way. I'd love to see King's Golden Horde attempt to get, maybe try to get Snyderman on the flank or get him into a priority position. That way, you know, we can see more of these needlework situations where just the true damage off of Gwen is able to level out the gold advantage in terms of hit points.
Agreed. And Theo's out here looking for the blood. Posturing up like, okay, can I get it? Can I get it? No, okay, walking off.
Theo is hungry for blood, as any AD carry should be. And we have a bit of a rotation here towards the bot side of the map. This is posturing up for a dragon who's about to hop into the midst of the pit. That is a Hexdrake. Hexdrake is a good one. Definitely worth fighting over. That said, though, I mean, I don't know if King's Golden Horde has necessarily fight for it. And, ooh, big steal there over the top by that Hecarim, who almost manages to stay alive but gets just cleaned up by the crossbow bolts of that Vayne. That steal is very impactful for the game state, but oh, I think Rubert's Croaksworth Cabal is going to run it down straight to Baron.
Definitely without that spite from the jungler being a threat, that's the best play they can make right now.
Yeah.
Closing up the game.
Ooh. Was the Dragon Steel worth it? Probably, but this is still bad. It's not the end of the world. I think King's Golden Horde can give this up pretty fairly as Snyderman needles the wall. Okay. Trades his life away for that flex. And I think blue side can turtle up here. They can weather the storm of a Baron just by playing smart and giving up maybe some of the outer towers of their base. And looking for more of that, you know, lightning in a bottle that they had at that Baron pit fight, because, you know, the Cabal is 2 dragons away from Dragon Soul. Baron isn't back up again for 6 minutes. You've got tons of time to stabilize the game state and get all your members together for a Wombo fight.
But for the most part, the CS across the board is pretty even besides top lane.
That's
top
true.
lane almost has a Horizon, Flame Horizon.
Yeah, that's true. It's pretty huge. That said, though, I mean, I'm not sure what Maokai's even supposed to do in that matchup, and the fact that this isn't an 8-0 Fiora, I'm actually kind of impressed. Kishmak also suffered a lot of pressure from that Jarvan in the top lane, so it looks bad, but there's a lot of points of the game that really level disadvantages against the Maokai, and I'm impressed that he's hanging in there.
Agreed.
As we have here, looks like red side's going to try 4-1 strategy here. I'm not really sure anyone can go in 1v1 Ajuka at this point, so I like this plan here. Although Sniper's doing a pretty moderately good job here, but looks like the wrap around. Ooh, Gwen has all kinds of resistances against range damage, and even like draws away the Fiora ult there. That looks a little ambitious. As here we go. Big wraparound by the blue team, who the Hecarim ult into the midst of this Jarvan 4 Cataclysm. Evo Snyderman ends up cleaning up King Kublai. Zidane's in the background of this frame, dealing out damage. Dies for his trouble. This looked like a pretty clean sweep. Pretty much all 5 blue members were alive, and then after about 5 seconds, they were all very dead. And Mango, honestly, that looks like gold advantage. The start of that fight looked pretty good for King's Golden Horde. I like the engage, and I like the fact that a lot of the major carry players weren't caught up by like a Jarvan Cataclysm or something. But Drubert's Croaksworth Cabal has really set themselves up for success with a pretty massive gold lead, and should be able to break the base open and close this game out.
Great. I think that was one of the first times they actually had a Juco with them.
Wait, they win here. Wait, what? Okay, I guess they had 2 waves, but okay, I guess they're gonna play it very safe. That makes sense. But that looked like a that looked like a GG game.
I think it could have been, but they wanted to just play it safe and make sure they don't throw it at the end and let them push it down mid. Because that's really all they had to do is group as 5 and push it down mid if they got a clean sweep. But I don't remember the last. I know one of them, the last 2 big team fights, that Ajuka wasn't really there with the team, and that time he was.
And Ajuka is a pretty sizable chunk of this gold lead. That's 4-1 on the Fiora, about a 90 CS lead over the Maokai. Huge character with 3 completed items. Kishmak just wants none of it. Backs away from the Demacian Duelist. But Ajuka wants it, and so does Revenger. They're going to chase the tree down, but manages to space himself out just enough. Not get knocked up by those abilities. Looks like King's Golden Horde is going to be a Golden Horde of trying to keep their base together here, as red side is going to siege down this inhibitor tower. And it looks like they're going to stay here. I like the call. I don't know how you feel about it, but they have supers pushing in other lanes. So all red side has to do here is just wait for supers to batter down the opponent's base and wait for somebody to leave to go deal with those supers. And then you strike.
I was
And
about
that
to say, I don't like the fact that there's not too much vision on some parts of it. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, a little bit of technical difficulties here. Yeah. So as you can see here, this is the Nocturne ult that hits the caster booth. Our team's been targeted by a Nocturne. We're not really sure what that's about, or how or when it's going to. Okay, cool. Yeah. And so Nocturne has sent us back to Fountain because he has deleted us. So Mango and I are currently dead. Welcome to the Shadow Realm, Mango.
Nice to be here. I mean, Shadow Wilds, might as well.
There you go. I'm definitely not Mordekaiser, and I didn't summon you here. Production. Oh man. Let me take a quick look here. Technical difficulties, folks. I want to say 26 minutes.
I don't remember what time exactly. I just know that they were pressing top inhibitor.
I swapped the ADC and now I'm getting Nocturne ganked in real life. That's true. That's actually true. I can't escape them. It's my nightmare.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, this is after Baron.
They had the bot and mid inhibitors down, and they were working on the top one.
Yeah. So this is. Oh, here we go. Awesome. Okay, great. So we're just gonna take a little bit of a chrono break here. We're just gonna back straight up, and watch a little bit more of this game come down. So, as we were talking about before, that awful Nocturne decided to give me post-traumatic stress. The strategy here that we're going to watch red side employ is they're going to employ group 5, go into the lane without a down inhibitor, and wait for their minions to push up. And this forces the issue from blue side. Blue side is required to start a fight before the minions in other lanes become a problem. And generally speaking, really well coordinated teams can overcome that pretty easily. It's not like something that's impossible to do, but you have to nail it, because if your timing is wrong, or if you're not in it to win it with the rest of your team, it can be a really sloppy fight that loses you the game. And also at this point in the game, nerves are at their highest. Like, any lost fight from blue side is probably going to mean an end of the game, and they know it. So I empathize with them here. This is a stressful time on the Rift. Here we are. We see Kishmak holds up Ajuka, who manages to just barely dash himself to safety. That is almost a dead tower. And blue side has really well pushed out waves here. They have time to kind of sit back, relax, try to find a nice opening here. As CO drops some vision down over the top, clears out some of Red's vision in their own quadrant of this jungle. And good pink ward usage there too, just denying that vision on the side of the map. We have yet another wave coming in, and right now we're watching these minions march down on bot lane and mid lane. But looks there, big stun there on top of Sedatin, who just gets immediately blown up. Ajuga's on a killing spree. The Maokai ult over the top roots up 3 members, but it might not be enough. Snaryman falls to this vein. Juku runs down to Maokai, who just smacks him backward. And Theo is not done. Theo says, give me more. It's a triple kill from the vein, his second of the game.
That
And
should be the end.
that absolutely is the end. I think the minions could take it from here. Really well played to both of our teams. Obviously, the Cabal comes out on top here, but I wouldn't. If I were a Golden Horde fan, I would not be pressed. This looked like a game where there's a lot of limit testing, a lot of communication testing, and honestly, the miraculous team fights that they won is impressive to me.
Agreed. It was a great showing from both teams. Even with the member town, let's shout out with CO again for subbing into 2 teams already in the season.
That's right. CO is we have to eventually let somebody on my team take a break, and then CO can sub in all 3 games of the week. That would be pretty impressive too. But thanks for joining us here tonight, everyone. This is the voice of Lord Solar Bear, joined with the illustrious Mango. Thank you so much to me, Patel, for not only being a great support, but also a great friend, and I guess okay at production. And with that, we're gonna wrap up for the night. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you to my mom and dad, and be well.